Hi, how you doing? How you be? Talk to the AB in gaming news. Super Mario is trying to take over my childhood, and that's pretty much it. Hope everybody's having a good day. Hope everybody's doing well. My name is Anthony, or The Open Forum, and I make videos that help people with their technical issues of their video games and video game issues and video game adjacent issues and anything that has to do with getting your video games working the way you want them to. My name is Anthony, or The Open Forum, and give me 1 second while I minimize everything so we can get this party started. Okay, because I'm literally looking at myself, talking to myself because of the delay. So, all right, let's get this popping here. Let's just open up the chatty chat. There we go. There we go. Okay, why is it opening in a new location? That's kind of silly, but okay, whatever. Alrighty, let's maximize this so we can see. Alrighty, I hope everybody had a good day at work. Hope everybody had a good day at school or college or whatever you're going to currently, whatever you're doing at this particular moment in time. Hope everybody had a good time. And yeah, without further ado, we can get started here. So give me 1 second. I just wanted to do that and make sure that that is good. And we are okay there. And we are okay there. Okay. Alrighty here. So there's a few things, a lot of trailers came out, and yeah, and I wanted to take a look at some of them. And let me pull on the headphones so we can actually hear a few things here. I've also tried to make some changes to my the stream. I'm trying to, make it as we start to what is that? Okay, sorry about that. When stuff starts to play on its own because you put earbuds in, I don't like that. It annoys me. But in any event, I'm starting to get to a point where, as we start to transition to going 4 days a week instead of 5 days a week, I'm starting to give me more time so that I can start building on the stream and get everything set up. So now I'm starting to add stuff. So we're getting there. We're making some progress here. But that isn't the first video. This is the first video. So apparently Super Mario Brothers movie dropped a new trailer, and apparently they're trying to ruin my childhood even more. So, so let's go ahead and see. Well, I mean, some did, some didn't. Sonic didn't. But everything that wasn't Sonic did. So you know how, it's kind of a bad ratio right about now. But hopefully this turns out pretty good. As long as Sonic and Detective Pikachu is the standard, we're good.
Where am I?
Ooh, fresh meat for the grinder.
Pay him no heed. He is cute, but he is.
There's gotta be a way out of here.
There's no escape. The only hope is the sweet relief of death.
Whoa! Oh, you've got to be kidding me!
My army! Koopas! Goombas! Whatever those things are!
Aww.
We will destroy the Mushroom Kingdom!
Bowser is coming.
I'm not afraid. I'll do anything for my brother.
We're going to save him.
Yes!
You asked for it. This is fun.
Here we go!
Attack!
Let's end this.
Okay, that was clean. I ain't even gonna lie, that was clean. What did they switch to? I hate it when they do that. Hold on. I wanted to see that. Go back.
Why is it your grocery order arrives the second?
That was clean. I wanted to see the little 30-second trailer thing, but because this is incognito, it makes you watch commercials, but we're not doing that because they're not paying me for it. So we're just gonna mute and just wait. Okay, we were here and that came up. And this is what I wanted to, okay, not this. That was crazy. I hope Luigi has kind of a role. I've always been more of a Luigi fan, kind of like I've always been more of a Robin fan than Batman. So I hope Luigi kind of gets a role because Luigi nowadays is just as popular as Mario. Okay, yeah, let's see what this is. Hold on.
We're the Mario Brothers, and plumbing's a game. We're not like the others who get all the fame. When your sink is in trouble, you could call us on the double. We're faster than the others, you'll be hooked on the brothers.
Thank you, Super Mario Bros. It seems like the only thing you haven't drained is my bank account. For super service, call or text Super Mario Bros. Plumbing today at 92955-MARIO. Or reach us on the World Wide Web at smbplumbing.com.
I have never seen them once go anywhere near a sink. So I don't know where they get that from. Every time I've seen them, they've been around Mushroom Kingdom, but they've never been near a sink. I mean, even in like New Donk City, I don't even remember a sink being there. There was a fire hydrant, but that's pretty much the extent of their powers. But okay, sure. That actually looked good. That actually looked like it's going to turn out to be a really good movie. I will be there day one because that looked amazing. Alrighty, so this one here is called Exoprimal. Yes, I had to make sure I did not mispronounce that because I was going to say experimental 90% of the time. So yes, I'm so glad I got that right. So let's see what this one's about.
In every war game, Ace really is getting pulled back 3 years into the past. Back to 2014, right before the Stratovator fails.
You're a time traveler.
This is no random outbreak. Leviathan is intentionally summoning them as cannon fodder for the war game.
But why? Why repeat the same day over and over?
Chief, when exactly did you say your sister passed?
3 years ago. One of the first outbreaks. Never found out more than that. You know how the
Chief
network
Haruka
was.
Lorenzo. She is alive. On the island. In the past.
Chief, you want to try talking to Parallel U? Another one. Still hiding something.
Oh, indeed.
No sleight of mine. Yeah, Lorenzo's never full of this stuff.
Another Exo fighter recruit, right? Welcome to Ibius.
Let me get this right. So their open beta test is during the exact same time Diablo 4's open beta test is, and they want us to choose. Oh man, you asking for trouble. But I mean, it looked interesting. I don't know. I've never really thought about shooting dinosaurs. I just don't think we've been around in the same time frame. So I mean, hey, it looked interesting. I wonder if the dinosaurs can transform into Decepticons. If they can, just like they can, that would be actually pretty awesome. Dinosaurs get mad because you're shooting them with lasers and they transform. That'd be pretty good. But you know, hey, it looks like a pretty good game. I may try to play a little bit of that, but we'll see how it goes. Alrighty, and the last one that I have here is RoboCop Rogue City, the one that tried to start without us being ready. So hey, let's see what happens here.
You came to clean up this city, didn't you? It'd be easier to burn it all to the ground. Believe me, just burn it all. Come back with a warrant, cop.
All right. All of the arcade staff will sell to you.
Drugs in the basement? I will take care of that. Open the door. I have the warrant.
Oopsie, I think I dropped my key somewhere. It's RoboCop!
Surrender your weapons.
Watch out! Light on Finally! Just die already!
What?
One parking ticket is all it takes to improve mindfulness.
What? Which Batman was that? Where he was like, he was beating up on the criminals, and he was like, "Oh, I'm mad at you because you murdered people," but he murdered like 20 people there. That's what that reminds me of. RoboCop has never been a killer, and this man is just going around. He going Batman. You killed so many people. You killed so many people. We both killed so many people. You killed 38 people in the making of this trailer. It's supposed to be RoboCop. Like, what is going on here? But okay, I mean, does it look more fun? Yeah. I mean, as fun as being a police officer could possibly be. I mean, it looked interesting. You get to shoot people in the face and kill everyone. Apparently, RoboCop has gone rogue. Oh, okay, now I get the name, Rogue City. Okay, fair enough. All right, well, I guess that's where it comes from. But that is like, it reminds me of like Wednesday Addams when on the new Adams show, they were like, "Oh, hey, your father got arrested for killing someone," and she was like, "Oh, arrested? Like, why is she shocked about that?" She's the type of person that would be happy about something like that. So yeah, it's just a little outside of character. It's almost jarring. It's so outside of character. I mean, this man used to save cats from trees. Like this man has gone a totally different direction. But sure, it's a game. It's definitely a game. All right. Okay, let's actually get to helping people, because apparently that is watching trailers is stressful. All right, let's do this here. Okay. All right, let's get a swig here and let's help some people. Alrighty, so this one's from Hardcore Scythe. Okay, I can't. I don't like doing that when I can hear. And Hardcore Scythe writes, resolution problems. When I try to change resolution on my Windows 10 PC, instead of it stretching to fit the display, it shrinks down the whole desktop to a tiny window. I've been trying to fix this for an hour. Please help. Sure. So when I try to change resolution on my Windows 10 PC, instead of stretching to fit the display, it shrinks down the whole desktop to a tiny window. Okay. Do you have any remote applications currently running? That's the first thing I think of. Like whenever you try to maximize the screen and instead it makes it very, very small, that usually means that you have another person that's logged into your screen, that's logged into your computer, and they may be looking at your computer, because when you try to maximize and they can only see it at 720p, it causes a resolution problem. Does that make sense? So it usually means that there may be another application that's also interfering with your resolution size. So it could also be graphics and drivers and stuff like that, but we want to add that as an option. Okay, do you have any remote applications currently running, like TeamViewer, or Remote Desktop? If so, I would close them out, as well as run what is it called? It's been so long since I've actually recommended a malware swipe or malware clean, which is it's not CCleaner. It's oh my God. Wow, Anthony, you forgot the antivirus you be telling people to go with. It's not Norton, it's not McAfee, it's the free one. Oh, goodness gracious, that's just sad. No, not Bitdefender, AVG, Malwarebytes. Thank you, Malwarebytes. Malwarebytes is free. That's why I recommend it, as well as run Malwarebytes on the computer to make sure nothing malicious is also accessing your computer. Also, be sure to update the graphics driver to the most up-to-date version. This also happens when you don't have a driver installed. Up-to-date version. Okay, I thought somebody was knocking on my door. I was like, what? Also, be sure to update the graphics driver to the most up-to-date version. Yeah, so I would go with those two, because typically whenever you try to maximize and it goes into a tiny screen, that is usually one of two things. It's usually a driver problem, or it's somebody remoting into your computer. It's one or the other. So but now, of course, could there be other possibilities? Sure, there can, but that's usually what you come across whenever you have issues with resolution and maximizing / minimizing the screen. It usually is a problem. So let's go ahead and have him check just to protect him from himself in case there's something else that is accessing his computer. So yeah, the auto adjust feature in the menus in your own, yeah, they're just giving you different options. Okay, cool. So that's what I would say. Hardcore site. Keep us posted. Alrighty, here, let's go ahead and go to the next one. Sierrana? Okay, I'm just gonna butcher that. Last night, I spilled some Monster on my controller and dried it off without thinking. Today, some of my buttons are sticky and don't click. What should I do? We made a big fuss about this. We were, well, not necessarily a fuss. We were like, yeah, you can attract some ants and it's gonna be really, really sticky because it's Monster, right? And so we gave him that option and he said only the Xbox and pause are sticky, the rest are fine. Okay. Well, I mean, you can keep it. Well, I don't know what to say on that. I mean, well, that's about what I would expect in this situation, or worse. So yeah, only really a few options. Keep it or buy a new one. But if you see it start to attract bugs, it may be a problem. Yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes people have those controllers and they attract, but this happens with keyboards and mice. Like I've seen people like not realize that there are ants on their desk because the color of their desk is the same color of the ants that are attacking their desk. So I've seen that happen several times and that has been a big problem. So you always gotta be aware of that because you'll go and troubleshoot somebody's computer and there'll be ants everywhere. You don't realize it and they're all on your hand. Vigilante. How's it going? I recently installed my new M2. Then as soon as I started my PC, my monitor did not boot as well as my key and mice. What's the problem? Your M2? What do you mean when you say M2? Because when you think of M2, I think of Mac. Let me know. But for this one here, but if you see it starts to attract bugs, it may be a problem. Yeah, we'll go with that. M2. Just making sure here. Saw my new M2. Then as soon as I start my PC, my monitor did not boot. Or are you actually talking about the M2 MacBook Pro? SSD M2. Oh, okay. M.2 NVMe SSD. Got you. So I recently installed my new M.2. Then as soon as I started my PC, my monitor did not boot. Okay. And as well as my key and mouse, what's the problem? Okay, well, there's a couple different reasons. What kind of processor are you using? Sometimes whenever you have an NVMe M.2 and you're trying to boot, especially if it's Ryzen, it has problems sometimes actually identifying what the NVMe drive is. If you actually go, if you boot it, you said, as soon as I start, my monitor did not boot as well as my key and mouse. So I would go with this. Because it appears that you don't even have a picture so that you can see to get to BIOS. Okay, so it's a i5 11th gen. Okay. Well, do you have the ability to hook it up via USB-C? because it may be one of those situations where you may have to format it before it actually detects the drive. But if it boots up fine without the drive, then that means that there may be an issue with the driver for the NVMe. So you may have to reinstall or update the drivers, the Windows drivers, before you can actually install the NVMe, because that sounds like that you just have a problem with that. This happens a lot with most components, with like particularly graphics cards. You see this a lot. If there's any issue with power fluctuation, then the graphics card will stop the computer from actually booting. Generally, a graphics card, you know, it'll boot up, the computer will boot up, but you won't get a picture on your screen. But sometimes if it's power related, it won't boot at all. And it will just be sitting there kind of like in a limbo state. And you just won't have a picture, and your keyboard and mouse and other peripherals won't come on. So I took my new SSD M.2 and it still wouldn't boot. I took out my new SSD M.2. Oh, okay. So this doesn't sound like it's going to be an M.2 then. So if you took out your new M.2 and it still won't boot, then, well, let me ask you this here. So when you press the power button on, does the lights come on? Does any lights come on whatsoever? Does the processor, like if there's a fan on it, does the fan spin up? There is, okay, he's not talking to me. So yeah, let me know on that one there, and we'll go ahead and go to the next person here. Well, that's about it. Would explain the situation or worse. Okay. Ooh, fancy. Well, I thought it was fancy, and then I started to look at it. I was like, ugh. but yeah, let me know, bro. Did he say my whole PC turns on besides monitor, keyboard, and mouse? Oh, okay. The i5 11th gen, go ahead and tell me the model of that guy, because I think you may have integrated graphics. Fan, CPU, GPU, PC lights all on. Okay. Well, if that's the case, then one, we're not talking about drive. We're just talking about an issue with boot. So I would go ahead and tell me the name of your processor. We'll look that guy up and see if it has integrated graphics. If it does, we'll remove the graphics card and let it boot directly from the CPU to see if it makes a difference. So this is from Defunct Tangerine. What a name. Wansol custom console layout, 10.3 liter plywood case. Yeah, it's definitely plywood. I mean, you know, I think the wood idea is it's really nice, but this looks, I mean, it looks like it's light. I mean, that's for sure. i5 11400 Intel. All right, let's take a look real quick. i5 11400 Intel. Specs. Integrated graphics. I probably misspelled that because I can't see, because this gigantic mouse cursor is in my way. Graphics. And okay. Does the i5 features integrated graphics? Bingo. Alrighty. So what you would want to do here is boot off, turn off your computer. Then you want to unplug the power going into the computer. And then once you do that, you want to go ahead and remove the graphics card. And then once you have the graphics card removed, go ahead and plug the power back in and move your HDMI cable or your display cable into your actual motherboard itself and let it boot that way and see if you get a picture. Alrighty. And then for him, well, I don't even know what to say. Okay, so basically it's not this guy. I don't know why I keep putting this thing on the floor, because I feel like I'm like hurting it every time I do so. It's very similar to this. It's like a Sentry, but it's like made out of wood, which, I mean, hey, for the level of detail he has there and the finish, it actually is pretty good. I don't like the look of it. It's a little, yeah, I mean, okay, one, that probably is probably a lot better airflow than just going with straight wood. So I mean, hey, I can't fault the brother. So I mean, it's his. it's definitely different for a 10.3 liter. That's different. I mean, it's definitely different. Definitely different. Congrats, bro. Congrats, bro. Congrats, bro. Your treehouse looks amazing. I mean, hey, I mean, all power to him. I was actually thinking about doing this, right? So I was actually thinking about, I wanted to get a 3D printer and print out my own cases. I've seen people do it, and apparently it's possible. I don't have enough room here, but when I move, I have plans on doing it. So sometime within this year, I have plans on being able to create my own cases. I would just love to do that with a 3D printer. I don't know which printer I need to get. That's probably a weak point. I think of all of these issues that we've had in the past, I don't know how many months we've been doing this, we've only had maybe one 3D printer issue. I think that's a topic that we want to get better at, because I'm good with printers, but 3D printers I've never had before, so I don't really know you know, what it can and cannot do and things that it's supposed to do and not supposed to do and things of that nature. So I definitely want to get one of those in so that we'll be able to troubleshoot that as well. So we won't have any, I don't like having weaknesses because it's very hard to do what we do and you have a weakness. So yeah, but still congrats to him. Alrighty here. So this is from Urshkey420. Okay. Is my SSD corrupt? Xbox Series X. We talked about this. He had some issues with a few games, and he was talking about specifically Dying Light, and the game keeps crashing on the home screen. So basically, whenever he tries to boot from the hard drive, it appears that his games keep crashing. And the strange part is that all games that were installed before Dying Light 2 works without crashing. So I don't think it's overheating issue or anything in that way. Everything is installed on the internal SSD. Does anyone have a clue what causes the issue? Well, instead of going with the wipe, if you have external drives, I would try to install Dying Light 2 on the external and boot that way. If it works, then you have a drive problem. If it doesn't, you have an Xbox problem. We can troubleshoot either way, but this will point us in the right direction. Thanks for your reply. Unfortunately, I don't have an external SSD. It doesn't have to be an SSD. If I understand correctly, you can't run Series X games from regular hard drives. I think I'm going to have to try a factory reset. Yeah, okay. I don't know about the regular hard drives. I don't have any I don't have any regular hard drives anymore. I gave them up a long time ago. I let them. We've had people who had hard drives that have lasted for a really long time and they didn't want to give them up. I was like, bro, I will attend the funeral. You got to let them hard drives go. So yeah, I don't have any more hard drives that I can think of. I think all I have is SSDs and NVMe's nowadays. So yeah, unfortunately, that may be the better option. However, let us know if this does not work. Thanks. So yeah, I mean, you know, you didn't really have a whole lot of options here. You know, if it's crashing whenever you're trying to run a game, and you know, there's not a whole lot more we can do here about look at the hard drive, and you really only have two options, which is to try an external hard drive or wipe. So those were the only two options here. You didn't have a whole lot to go with. So yeah, go ahead and wipe that and keep us posted. See what happens. He'll probably let us know if it doesn't work anyway. Most people ping us. They're like, hey, how's it going? My issue's still here, bro. My issue's still here. I need your help. I need your help right now, man. Fix my computer. Prestigious ad 5200. My Xbox won't turn on. Speaking of Xboxes not turning on, let me actually turn on my Xbox so we can get ready. There we go. Okay, I have a Series S and I tried to turn it on and the power button glows, but the Xbox doesn't display on the TV and the light turns off after 20 seconds. Any advice is appreciated. I've already unplugged it for an hour and swapped the cables. Okay, well, so basically whenever he turns on his Xbox, it basically doesn't do this. So it basically doesn't boot. So this typically happens when you are trying to hook it up to a TV and there is an incompatible resolution. So they can't agree on a particular resolution or a cable issue, but he said he's already tried to switch the cables out, or you're trying to plug it into something in order to go into something else. For example, an Elgato Cam Link or an Elgato MK2 Pro. So basically you're plugging it into the HDMI in of something else to go into the HDMI out into your television, and you're trying to use that in order to record your streams. So if you have something like that, then that can be the problem. I run into this all the time. Like this right here, this issue is literally what we did before I started every stream. I had this problem every single time. It was so annoying. So yeah, I'm very familiar, almost annoyingly so. So with this one, that typically means there is a conflict of resolution, or there is an issue with the cable. Is there any intermediary device between the Xbox and the TV, like a capture card? Wow, capture card. What happens if you plug your Xbox into another TV/monitor? Does it come on? All right, so we'll go with that. Kind of quiz them, you know. go ahead and essentially take your Xbox and plug it into another device. We all know that. But also, you know, make sure there's not a conflict of resolution, because typically when you run into these issues, well, not always, a lot of it has to do with the fact that you have an intermediary device, and that device is either asleep, or they can't agree on a resolution, or there's certain settings that haven't been changed on the Xbox and therefore it's not working. So just to make sure that he doesn't have anything in the middle, you want to bypass that. Cable people do this all the time. They make you bypass the splitter in case there is an issue with signal connectivity. So it happens a lot. My monitor isn't booting up, even hooking into the motherboard. Okay, well, let me ask you this. When you power it on, do the fans spin up? So whenever you press the power button, do the fans spin up? Because it sounds like your issue may be either the power supply or the power button. It's a possibility that the power button could be going out. But let me know if the fan spins up or if you see lights on the power button when you press power. Either or. Alrighty, and then yeah, I think we answered him. So I think we're pretty good on him. So yeah, that's kind of the way I would handle these Xbox issues. Which fan? Just the fan that's on the cooler, the CPU, or just any fan in general. So typically whenever you boot, the fans will start to spin up. I just want to know if there are any lights or if the fan tries to spin up, and we can kind of go from there. Alrighty. So group 3. We're doing pretty good on groups, man. So, whoa, okay. So it's not really we're at group 2. I just basically moved our starting point to an actual group, so it looks a little bit easier for us to actually troubleshoot, because we'll have, you know, 20 tabs up and it's very hard for us to traverse it properly. So yes, CPU fans run. Okay, so your CPU fans run and you don't have a graphics card installed. You have it going directly into the motherboard, but you still don't get a picture. Okay, well, let me ask you this here. Do the fans stay on the entire time the computer is running? So basically, whenever you power it on, you see your fan spinning up. So that means you do have power. Does it stay on or does it turn itself back off? And then we'll go from there. Alrighty. Alrighty, Captain Bob. I like the name. How do I make the default profile on the Elite 2 controller always inverted? On the Elite 2 controller always inverted. There are options on the Windows 11? Windows 11. I feel like it's Windows 11. So we'll go to Windows 11 and see here. So let's see. It stays on. Okay, good. That's very, very good. So that means that either you're dealing with an issue with the cable or the monitor. Okay, so if you have another monitor, I would try to swap it out. If you have another cable, I would try to swap it out. So try to swap it out with an HDMI or a display port. Typically on motherboards, there is an HDMI port as well as a display port. So try to swap it out with an HDMI cable or a display cable and try a different monitor as well and see if that will actually show you a picture. Alrighty, how do I make the default profile on the Elite 2 controller always inverted? So when we go to Windows 11, and there is the Microsoft Store has a Xbox. Is it the Game Bar that has that? Pretty sure. Xbox Game Bar is the one that you need to download in order for the controller to work properly. I just don't remember if it also doesn't light up my keyboard and mouse. Dang. I only have one monitor. Okay. Do you have a television? Because I try to plug it into the television just to see. But at the same time, because the keyboard and mice aren't lighting up, that really worries me. It makes me think that you have a faulty motherboard. So the power supply does not appear to be the problem, because if it was, it wouldn't boot. So, you know, and then on top of that, we were just trying to see if you would get some type of a picture, even though you don't have peripherals, because sometimes computers won't boot if there isn't a monitor connected to it. So I just wanted to make sure that that wasn't the case here. So it sounds like a motherboard issue. It really does, unfortunately. So you may have to flash the BIOS, but keyboard and mouse. Try to plug the keyboard and mouse into a different USB port to see if it even tries to come on. It could be a bad USB port, and also the keyboard and mouse can stop it from booting as well. So let's go that. Try to plug it into a different USB port, power it off, power it back on, see if the keyboard and mouse actually start to light up. Yeah, crap. Also, are there any lights or indications on your motherboard, like a red light or an error code? and go from there and let me know. Alrighty, Windows 11. Why wouldn't it open? So I know we typed in Xbox, but apparently you don't want to open. Open for me. What is going on? I clicked on your face. Let me hear. Maybe we have to open it from the store. But yeah, there's an app for the Xbox Elite controller and the regular Xbox controller. And in that app, you should be able to set that. Xbox Elite. Okay, apparently you don't know how to put a space between Xbox and Elite. Yeah, right here. So Xbox accessories, that's what it is. That's what it is. Get. I don't see any lights on my motherboard, but on my PC case, it usually blinks red repeatedly, but now it doesn't. Usually blinks red repeatedly, but now it doesn't. Okay. This is not looking good, man. So yeah, it sounds like you may have an issue with your motherboard in general, not necessarily the SSDs. Whenever you were trying, let me ask you a question. Whenever you were trying to put in the M.2, did you by accident have the power on and maybe the screw may have, or I'm sorry, not the screw, but the screwdriver may have touched the motherboard, or maybe a screw may have touched the motherboard while the power was on? Because it sounds like the motherboard may be having problems. And the motherboard is the only thing that we can really point to as of right now, because you're not even getting the USB, the keyboard and mouse, or any peripherals to come on. We've already tried without the graphics card, so we know it's not that. It can be the power supply because it's actually booting for you. So now, if it was the power supply, it wouldn't even boot at all. So yeah, it's starting to sound like I took out the power cable. Okay, so you took, dang, that's cold-blooded. I would try this, okay? I would try to reset the BIOS. I would Google the model of your motherboard. It's different for every model, so there's no way I'd know. Like, for example, like this motherboard here has a 2-pin where you can just short. Some people have a reset BIOS in the back that they can just hold for like 5 seconds. Other people remove the CMOS battery. So I would go ahead and Google your motherboard to see what's the best way to reset the BIOS. I would try to reset the BIOS and see if that will allow the motherboard to boot, because as of right now, there's nothing stopping it. It's just there's no graphics card as of right now. Could it be memory? Could it be memory? I would go with motherboard first. I would go with motherboard first, reset the BIOS first, and then we'll look at memory, okay? Because it sounds more like a motherboard issue than a memory issue. It's a possibility that it could be a memory issue because memory can mask itself in the same way in the same issues that you're currently experiencing. But I would go with BIOS, reset the BIOS, because resetting the BIOS and doing so also clears any XMP profiles that you may have on your memory anyway. You see what I'm saying? So it could just be that the memory may be messing up and clearing the XMP profile may fix it. You see what I'm saying? So let's just go ahead and reset the BIOS and then go from there. So just Google your model of your motherboard and see what the best way to reset the BIOS is. Probably just clearing the CMOS, but that's what I would go for. And then let us know when you get done with that. Alrighty, Xbox accessories. Oh, that's what we wanted to tell them. So we'll go back here and work. Why would I open up Google Chrome? Silly boy, silly boy. Alrighty, so in the Xbox accessories app, which is in the Microsoft, while putting it in, okay, just making sure we didn't miss anything. Okay, cool. Which is in the Microsoft Store, you should have the ability to change the default configuration. Do you already have this application installed? Some people don't even know that there's an application for the Elite controllers and they just run it the way it is. You know, they just get it out and they just run it and think that that's it. But the actual Elite app, you can actually set up how you want it to do and how you want each individual profile to work. So, and you can set up the profiles and change it. Now, what you cannot do, and I want to repeat this because some people don't know, if you decide to buy the Elite controllers, what it won't allow you to do in the app is combine buttons. So if you wanted to do like right trigger plus X or something like that, it won't let you do it. So for example, I use my controller when playing Lost Ark. It'll be very, very good if I can combine 2 different buttons at the same time for a lot of MMOs, but you can't actually actually do that with the Xbox Elite controller app. You have to do it another way. So it's very annoying. So you have to do it basically by the game itself. You can't do it from the actual application. So just letting everybody know in case anybody didn't know that. Alrighty, Captain Bob, keep us posted, bro. Alrighty here. So next up we have X Gets Fit. Okay. X writes, DMX writes, need help with keyboard. Whenever I press my semicolon, the keys, the entire alphabet, and then the enter key all get put into the search bar. Need help. Is my keyboard broken? No, but it's stuck. It sounds like it's sticky. Like, who did we have? We just had another issue with a person talking about a sticky keyboard. So, or a sticky mouse in that case. But in this one here, it sounds, is your keyboard, this is gross, but is your keyboard sticky? It sounds like if it's not, then it sounds like the motherboard may be going out or is damaged. If it is, you may be able to clean the keyboard to see if that resolves the issue. There's only 2 ways to go about that, right? So if you have, okay, we're gonna be as professional as humanly possible. But if you have a keyboard that is sticky, then there's only 2 ways to go about that. You can try to clean it with some alcohol, or you can, if you after you clean it and you still have an issue and the buttons are still sticky and you press 1 and it presses like 4, then you may not have too many options there. You would want to clean the keycaps, clean the cell membrane, and if you're still having a problem, then your next steps would be to basically replace the keyboard. Unfortunately, because there's not too many options you have there when it's a sticky keyboard. You can try to clean it or you can replace it. Sorry about that, Mr. Fit. Could it also be? Nah, it's very hard for it to be kind of a driver, for it to press that many buttons and it be a driver related issue. Generally, drivers is to add stuff. They don't really take away. Generally, keyboards, over the years, I like to say that I have not run into a keyboard that's button placement is incorrect. You see what I'm saying? There are keyboards where you have to create the buttons, like put them in the actual locations, but I've never had a keyboard where I get it out the box and I press A and it types Q. You see what I'm saying? So it sounds like the board itself may just straight up be damaged and no amount of software can really fix something like that. Alrighty, X Gets Fit. I hope that helps. Keep us posted. Shadowcross, I get no connection to monitor. Okay. Well, I think Vigilante and you may have a similar issue. Hello, I don't get any connection to my monitor. I connected to both HDMI and display for my GPU. Well, no, he didn't do that. I updated the motherboard with the latest BIOS before installing anything. What do you all recommend? Well, you ought to be in the same boat. So try this. What happens if you plug in your cable? Could it be the memory because my PC says PCIe 3 X4 SATA mode and the SSD I have says PCIe NVMe PCIe 4 NVMe? Could be the memory because my PC says PCIe 3X4 and SATA mode. Well, a PCIe 4 NVMe can work in a PCIe 3 slot. It'll just have PCIe 3 speeds. So it is possible that that would be the issue, or that could be a problem. But at the same time, you've already removed the drive. So if you've removed the drive and it still won't boot, then it's not really a drive problem. So, I mean, because at the very least, you should be able to get to BIOS. We're not even talking about the operating system. You should at least be able to get to BIOS. So the fact that you can't get to BIOS really is a telling situation. That's why I think it's more motherboard than memory. But if you want to play the memory game, you can. The memory game is this. If you have 2 sticks of memory, remove one and then try to boot. If that doesn't work, then basically move that stick into another slot and then try to reboot, and so on and so forth. And then if that doesn't work, then replace it with the other stick of memory and do the exact same thing. So basically just try to get a memory in a particular DIMM slot to see if the actual computer boots, and just let me know if that works. And that's the memory game. So you can play that right now if you want to do that, or you can go with the reset of the BIOS. The reset of the BIOS is quicker, and then you just set up your settings back, but either way is fine. So you can go either way with it, but we're probably, if the BIOS doesn't fix it, the memory would be the next step anyway. So you can go whichever way you want to on that one. I'm indifferent. So we said, sorry for the late reply. I tried it on 2 different monitors and there's still no signal. What I did notice though, is the GPU displays 3 red dots. My monitor is, what Was it your GPU that displayed the 3 red dots, or was it your chassis? Let me know on that one, because we've already removed the GPU, so I just want to be sure that we're not dealing with the same problem here. Okay, then I would say reseat your graphics card and try new power connectors from your PSU to your graphics card to see if it makes a difference. Okay, I just tried it and I kind of broke the PCIe latch. Will that be a problem? No. And also I switched the connectors for new ones and it still doesn't show anything. Also, my GPU doesn't sit all the way flat on the PCIe slot. It hits part of the motherboard. It's a 5800X3D. I don't think the 5800X3D had integrated graphics, but we'll check just to be sure. X3D have integrated. I do not think so, but I have been wrong before. I know the new one does, has it, but I don't know if the old one does. Does the 5800X best integrated GPU X3D? Okay, can somebody just tell me? Okay, let's see here. Tech specs, technology specifications. There we go. 5800X3D integrated graphics. Where you at? Where you at? Key features. See full specifications. There we go. Integrated. No. Okay. Just making sure. And okay, just making sure that we answered his and we answered this one and we were working on this one. Okay. Okay, I just tried, broke the PCIe latch. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I have a few broken PCIe latches myself. Yeah, that's fine. I have a few broken PCIe latches myself. And then he said, also my GPU doesn't sit flat on, it hits part of the motherboard. Okay, well, you don't have integrated graphics, so we don't really have much of a choice. Do you have, did he tell us his specs? Yes, he did. Max Wi-Fi. Let's look this board up real quick. Let's see if he has another PCIe slot. And he does. He has a good one too. But they would both hit. So if one hits, the other one hits. So, but we'll go with that. That's fine. Try to move the GPU into another slot. It appears you have 2. And see if that makes a difference. He's gonna be in the exact same boat. Difference, if not your better option would be to reset BIOS to see if that makes a difference. But he's Ryzen and you were Intel. So it's a little different here. But the results look very, very similar. But he's going to be in the same boat. I would say reset BIOS for both of you. So with him, I would say reset BIOS if because I mean, he's in the same boat. Like he doesn't have a picture on his monitor. And then he has 2 different monitors and they both have no signal. And we've already tried to remove the GPU, but he doesn't have integrated graphics like you do. So he can't even get rid of his graphics card. So it's a possibility that it could be his graphics card, but there's no real way to know, which is why we're still troubleshooting his graphics card. So it's okay to, to continue troubleshooting his graphics card because he's not like yours. You have integrated graphics, so we can just get rid of it. But him, he has to keep working his issue because, he only has that one graphics card. Now it's possible that he may have another one somewhere in a closet somewhere. So it's okay to ask, but it's very unlikely. Most people don't keep more than one graphics card. If not, your better option would be to reset the BIOS to see if it makes a difference. Also, do you have a spare graphics card lying around? We could swap to. It doesn't have to be his. Maybe he has a brother or something like that, or a cousin that he can use his graphics card temporarily to see if it fixes his issue. So yeah, you guys are going to be in the same boat. Reset BIOS on that one. Reset BIOS on his too. And see exactly what happens with that and just go from there. Are we the only people talking to him? Looks like it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we're the only people talking. So yeah, we'll see how his goes. And it may be a comparison. We'll see. But I mean, his gear is a little different than the gear that you have, Vigilante. Okay, box. What is a box? I mean, okay, it's a box, but it's more of a rectangle, but sure. A rectangle is a square. That is a fact. Okay. But a square is not a rectangle. I mean, it looks nice. I mean, it looks like the Meshalicious. If I knew any, okay, well, it's not the Meshalicious. Just from looking at that, that's the Form T1. Box. Why would you name it? Why would you name it that? Okay. I mean, I like the hole. The hole is pretty neat. I like the mesh. The mesh. Oh, oh my God. I hate putting that cursor above me typing. I like the mesh hole. Congrats on the build. Congrats on the build, even though we didn't get a chance to see all of it, but sure. I think we did. Well, maybe he did. Oh yeah, he opened it up. Okay, yeah, his cable management is superb. You know, for a build like this with the Corsair, well, I'm not sure if it's a 600 or a 750, but it looks like it's a 600. So yeah, I mean, overall, it's a really nice build. I'm not sure what graphics card that is. It looks like an RTX A2000. Just me giving my 2 cents, but an A2000, it should be able to fit a bigger graphics card than that. So it's kind of an interesting build, but overall, still pretty good. Congrats. Dialec or Dialback. We'll go with Dialback. Congrats. PlayStation Direct. Oh, I turned on my PlayStation. Well, I logged back into my services. Let's actually see if that's working now. Yeah. Okay, cool. Just making sure that we have our PlayStation back because we didn't have that turned in, and I didn't log in, and I didn't want to log in because this is the input that we use, and so on and so forth. Zam says, PlayStation Direct is the worst support I ever received. Is that a question? Do you need my help or do you need us or something? Like we're here for you, but I mean, we can console you. I guess that's kind of what we do too. Trying to return my console and it arrived a while ago. The policy said it will be processed within 10 business days, but it's been more than that already. Trying to contact support, but all they have is live chat and keep telling me to wait, and there's nothing they can do about it. Every customer service agent keeps telling me different things. Are y'all the type of people that when it says 10 business days, you count the weekends too? Like, you know for a fact they literally said 10 business days, but you count weekends because you're so angry? I do that all the time. Sir, it's been 7 days. Well, it feels like 10 because it's been a weekend, okay? Don't try to downplay my frustrations. So I get it. I get the annoyance dealing with, especially because of what happened with me and Facebook. So yeah, it's a problem. So I get that. And everybody's kind of moving that way because it's cheaper. Yeah, we feel your pain and frustration, good sir. Frustration, good sir. Hope you get an agent you can curse out respectively. Respectfully. There we go. I don't think you can possibly curse out somebody respectfully. I've been insulted respectfully, but I've never been cursed out respectfully, because at that point it's just disrespect. At what point does the level of respect go to disrespect? Well, generally when they curse you out, that becomes disrespectful. So I've never had somebody, disrespect me and cuss me out at the same time. Maybe like my mom or something, but that's pretty much where it ends. Alrighty, Flapple Juice. I like the name. It reminds me of Flapple, the Pokemon. Grass Dragon. Motion sickness. Handheld versus docked. Okay, is this Nintendo? It's Nintendo. Hey, we got a Nintendo issue. I recently got a new TV, so finally started playing my Switch games docked. I realized I get motion sickness from a lot of them. I'm not sure if it's just the game or the TV contributing, but even some games like Fire Emblem make me feel dizzy and nauseous almost immediately. I didn't even get to the combat. Something in the menus with all the small words and numbers just made me feel queasy. I've been able to play Pokemon Violet without getting bad. Well, that's all that matters. Save for a couple of spots, like walking up on a bridge, but I can play for hours handheld and seem fine. Except yesterday, I was watching some gameplay videos for both Grow, Song of Evertree, and Yonder Cloud Catcher Chronicles on my phone, and started to feel weird. I was wondering if anyone else who experiences this has found these games to be just as bad on handheld as docked, and any other general advice for what to try, since some of the previous games seem to cause these problems. I'm getting worried about some upcoming games like Final Fantasy for Switch. Yeah, I do have this. I have motion sickness. So I can't, like for example, if we're driving, hey, Vigilante, could it be the memory? Oh yeah, we already worked that issue. Okay, I'm just making sure. So if I was driving and I was in the passenger seat, I have to look at the road. If I look down or if I look at my phone, I'll get nauseous. So it's almost like the idea of moving makes me sick, not so much actually moving. So I think he may have the level of nauseousness that nausea. Yeah, he has the level of nausea that I have, where just the thought of moving makes me queasy. Even though, like, not like necessarily moving slow, but just being in a fast car and not looking at the road, looking away from the road. So that would mean, like, for example, a boat can make me queasy. But at the same time, all of this can be fixed with what's it called? There is Sudafed. Sudafed. So sometimes when I take Sudafed, it makes some of the symptoms go away. Yeah, I've had something similar. I would take a Sudafed, and that would help. Check with your doctor. Check with your doctor first. But that would be how I would proceed to see if it helps. Because it may just be blockage or something like that. But check with your doctor. Please don't sue me. Check with your doctor. Don't sue me. That's exactly how I feel about that. I am not a doctor at all. I'm just going off of symptoms that I had and what I did. So yeah. Alrighty, back to business. Okay, just making sure everybody's good here. Cool. So this is from Kemperer. Kemperer writes, main monitor loses connection to PC after booting past the BIOS. Alrighty, let me put on an earbud so I at least can hear, just in case. Alrighty. No, please don't start a YouTube video. Okay, it didn't. All right, so I built this PC. I've owned the monitor, XB270HU, which is a 27-inch monitor, for a long while, and I never had an issue like this. The monitor does not receive any signal from the PC, but is detected in Specky. Specky? The BIOS will appear on the monitor, as it always does, and I can access the monitor settings then, but once Windows loads into the login screen, the monitor turns off as if it didn't have a signal. Things I've tried, updating drivers for the Radeon GPU. How, sir? How did you do that? Because if you don't have a picture, then how would you do that? Do you have a second screen? Restarting PC, closing the second monitor. Okay, closing second monitor and booting with only one monitor. Closing. Turning off the monitor physically, power cycling, plugging into a different port. Cable should be good. It works in BIOS. I don't have any other monitor that fits the cable to test. Okay, and that's the specs. Okay, well, if you unhook the faulty monitor from the GPU and just leave the other monitor connected, does it boot just fine and show a picture? Because it sounds like, I mean, if you update the drivers, then that means one of the monitors is definitely working. So I just want to make sure that that monitor works without the other monitor hooked up. Well, if you unhook the faulty monitor and the GPU from the GPU and just leave the other monitor connected, does it boot just fine or show a picture? If it does, then we are looking at a faulty monitor, as the cable has already been replaced. If it does not, and the issue persists across both monitors, then it may be a GPU issue. Thus, I would try to reseat the graphics card and see if it resolves the issue. We'll go ahead and give it one more because this is our last day. What happened? Don't be scaring me like that. You scared the hell out of me. What happened? What we do? What happened? Everything all right? Keep us posted, man. Don't be scaring us. Then it may be a GPU issue. Thus, I would try to reseat the graphics card and see if it resolves the issue. Okay, then it may be a GPU issue. Thus, I would try to reseat the graphics card and see if it resolves the issue. Also, you can try to update the BIOS. I swapped my RAM and got an AMI boot screen. Oh, AMD boot screen. Okay, so you swapped out the RAM and you got a boot screen. So it appears that either the RAM is having an issue, or the XMP profile is having the issue, or the motherboard is having an issue with the RAM profile. So if you do have XMP profile or DLCP, however you want to pronounce that, turned on, then I would turn that off and see if it will boot. If it boots with that, then we know what the problem is. The problem will be the XMP profile. So let me know how that goes. So basically, did you have an XMP profile / DLCP turned on? If so, turn it off and then see if that makes a difference. Because it may not be the RAM is bad. It may just be that the XMP profile is having issues. I don't know how long I'm going to keep calling it XMP profile, even though I know they call it DLCP depending on which BIOS version you're on, but whatever. We'll call it, it's still XMP profile to me. What's an XMP profile? Okay, cool. So when you go into BIOS, at the very beginning of the BIOS screen, it will tell you your RAM and your speed, and then it will have an option where you can change it from the default speed that it's currently at to what is called an XMP profile, which is an overclocked memory speed. Okay, it may also say DLCP, and with that overclocked memory speed, you want to make sure that that is turned off. Okay, because some memory controllers can handle it, some cannot. It may be an issue with just the memory controller not being able to handle the overclocked version of the memory, but it can handle the memory at the lower speeds. That's what we're referring to. And you'll see it. It's going to be in the left-hand side on the main screen of the BIOS page. Also, you can try to update the BIOS to see if it makes a difference. Okay. Normally, we wouldn't tell him that. We'll give him a couple of options and just leave it at that. But because Thursday, we're going to be off on Friday so I can make more content. And then we'll come back up on Monday. We're going to go ahead and give him an extra option. That way, you know, that 3-day weekend sometimes is kind of hard for people. Because we talk to, how many people we talk to a day? We talk to maybe 250 people a day. It's some people, you know, they may reply back on Fridays or they may reply back on Saturdays and they get kind of antsy, you know, and they get kind of worried. And we won't get back to them on Monday. So yeah, I try to give them an extra option. That way they have a few things that they can test. Slayer. How long do Series X repairs typically take? I want to know how long the actual repair replacement takes without including the shipping time. All the estimates I can find on Google include shipping times. Depends on the issue. Well, depends on the issue. Unfortunately, it has been a very long time since I've sent a console to Microsoft for repair. But I send Elite controllers to Microsoft for repair all the time. And those guys take about 2 to 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks to repair, to get a new one, to get a new replacement. This happens all the time. That button goes out all the time. Everything seems to run fine. Oh, great. Okay, that's kind of weird, man. Did you take out all of your memory and put in a different set of memory, or did you just take out one of your sticks? But I think it was the RAM that didn't let my screen boot or something. Yeah, RAM can do that. RAM has a tendency of masking itself as motherboard issues, because a RAM, depending on the situation, a RAM may let you boot. It may not let you boot. It may give you a picture. It may not give you a picture. Just like a motherboard. A motherboard may boot with problems. It may not boot with problems. It may give you a picture. It may not give you a picture. They have very, very similar problems. So it's kind of hard. You know, you could kind of go both ways, but typically it's like, okay, well, if it's an XMP profile, you can either teach somebody how to get to the XMP profile, but if they can't see the screen, they can't, or just reset the BIOS, which will also remove the XMP profile, thus fixing the memory if it turned out to be an XMP profile issue. Does that make sense? So there's a whole different ways to play it, but XMP and memory tend to mask itself in the same way the motherboard masks itself. I'm glad we were able to get that fixed, Vigilante. We're going to call that an assist trophy. Glad you were getting that working, bro. I'm so happy for you. But I sent Elite controllers to Microsoft for repair all the time, and those guys take about 2 to 3 weeks to get a new replacement. So yeah, about a month. So yeah, we'll just go with our knowledge, and we do Elite controllers all the time. I replace Elite controllers at least once every 6 or 7 months. So yeah, it happens. Ooh, NZXT H1 walnut panel. Okay, that's clean. Okay, that is clean. Now that's clean. You won. That's clean. Congrats, bro. That is one heck of a, what do they call it? Accent wall. Accent wall. So an accent wall, for those of you like, so you know, like how in rooms or whatever, right? Like this room here is well, I guess you guys can't see it, but it's black, right? So an accent wall is like if your room is like gray and then one of the sides of the room is like teal. That would be considered an accent wall. In this particular case, the wood is the accent finish on this. So I mean, it looks amazing. I like that. I like something that is either one tone or two tone. Any more and it gets obnoxious. Okay, he said he put all the memory out and put it back in, including the new SSD. Okay. So yeah, it's kind of an iffy one, man. It just sounds like the memory was just not having a good time, but I'm glad you were able to get that resolved. We'll keep that to note, you know, whenever we're looking at BIOS to memory, you know, it's, you know, it really kind of just depends on the situation, but I'm glad you were able to get that resolved. And I think we told him the same thing. No, we told him to reset the BIOS, the other guy that was having your issue, but he was AMD and he did have the ability to take out the graphics card, so we're still working him. So we'll still go with the reset BIOS and see what he says on that, and then if not, it'll probably be memory just as yours was. Every time I see this man's name, I almost say it. I gotta catch myself every single time. Mr. 84 says Xbox One wireless controller menu not responding. So he was actually talking about these two buttons, and then he was talking about this button, and then it got confusing. So basically, I can show you the video if anybody hadn't seen it from yesterday. So the menu button, basically, this button here, that button right there where my thumb is, that button right there seems to be having a problem. But whenever we were troubleshooting his issue, he was also talking about the Xbox button not working. So it's kind of an interesting one. So why does it say it doesn't see a battery? If you pair it to your phone or PC, does it work? You can test on any free game that supports controllers like Call of Duty Mobile and see what happens. Also, what happens if you plug the controller in wirelessly? Does it make a difference? Plug the controller in wirelessly? Wired. I only really use it for my PC. I noticed it happened when I was playing Elden Ring. Plugging it in doesn't change it. The battery thing is because it isn't plugged in. Okay. Well, okay, I noticed it happened when I was playing Elden Ring. Plugging it in doesn't change it. So you cannot get to the menu in Elden Ring? It sounds, I mean, you know, if it's having that type of an issue, then you still would want to pair it with your cell phone, because if you pair it with your cell phone and you try Call of Duty Mobile, that button is start. So you'll be able to actually see the menu. So it'll show you something. So we just need to make sure that the button itself is failing in all aspects. If it is, then yeah, it's just a bad controller or a bad button on the controller. So you cannot get to the menu in Elden Ring. I would still try to pair the controller with your phone and try a game like Call of Duty Mobile or any other free game. This is because we need to know if the game menu comes up when you press that button. If it fails on the phone too, then it is faulty. So yeah, just go ahead and let them know. I mean, that's the reason why we want to do that. We want to hook it up to the cell phone because we're trying to see if it's faulty. The best way to see if it's faulty is to try it on a different device as well as with different settings. So we basically pair it with the phone with Bluetooth and we try a different game and we try different settings to see if it works. And if it doesn't work, then yeah, you just have a faulty button on your controller, unfortunately. So Mr. 84, keep us posted, bro. Change your name. Keyboard not working, and then it starts spamming keys. All right. So this is a hardware issue, and this is a new issue. This is from Snoopy. 2 weeks ago, I spilled some water into my laptop. Got it. Let me get some water real quick here. All right. After a few minutes, I turned on the laptop and it's working just fine. Keyboard was still working, and then I did not use it afterwards. I rarely use my laptop since I have a PC. Okay. 2 days ago, when I turn on the laptop, the keyboard does not work anymore. However, the backlight of the keyboard and the power button is fine and still working. Yesterday night, some keys work, but it's just spamming the same key. The spamming occurs whenever I press a button X. When I press E, it will spam the letter E. I tried uninstalling and updating keyboard drivers, booting in safe mode, and problems still exist, not working and spamming keys. Battery reset checked the connection of the keyboard on the motherboard. What other things can I do to possibly fix it before going to service center last resort? My device is a Acer Nitro AN515. I wiped it off, but I think some water were able to enter the laptop. Yeah. Well, there's not a whole lot you can do here, sir. If 2 days ago, and when I turn on the laptop, the keyboard is not working anymore. However, the backlight of the keyboard and the power button is fine and still working. Yeah. I mean, you spilled water in it. Yeah. Unfortunately, this isn't looking too good. There's nothing you can really say. I would take the USB keyboard from your desktop, as he mentioned that he had one, from your desktop, and plug it into your laptop to see if it works. If it does, then it sounds like you just may have a faulty keyboard as a result of the spillage. You can turn it upside down, and sit it on a towel if it's recent, but your options are pretty limited. Gotta tell them, limited. Sorry about that. Not a whole lot you can do there. So in this particular situation, when you press a button, it's pressing multiple buttons, and you spill water on it, and you're booting it up, and it's not doing anything, and you've already tried to reinstall drivers and stuff like that, then you really don't have a whole lot of options here. It just sounds like it may be a damaged keyboard, but the only way to troubleshoot that would be to open the laptop up. Therefore, you would have to call the service center anyway. So yeah, you don't have a whole lot of options on that one, bro. I'm so sorry. It does not look good for that particular issue, sir. Okay, cool. Group 5. Wow, we are moving pretty fast with some of these. I think I may do a group 7 next time around just to make sure that we have enough time. But I do like the idea of coming back over here and just picking random stuff and just working it because it's fun. So we'll see. I just always want to make sure that we get the people that we've been working for a while, just to make sure that they get help. Seaman block networking. This is a man with the Seaman blocking. He has multiple rooms, it appears. Yeah, it's a multi-bedroom. Okay, well, if that's the case, then yeah, I would still go for Wi-Fi on this one here. So yeah, it's a multi-bedroom. Then Wi-Fi, then a Wi-Fi extender may be the better option, but keep the receipt just in case the thickness is too wide for the signal to travel. So just in case there's an issue, I would keep the receipt. That way you can return it and go for the Ethernet over power adapter. Some of them do have multiple Ethernet over power adapters in one kit. So for example, there's 3. There's one main one into 2 different ones. You can do something along those lines. But yeah, that's what I would try for. What? Oh, did it? Don't tell me, Vigilante. Don't tell me, bro. Don't tell me. You're scaring me. What were we talking about? Oh, there are some Ethernet over power adapters that have 3 units in the kit that will allow you to connect multiple rooms to the same network. We'll just spell it out because it doesn't sound right. Ethernet over power adapter that have 3 units to the kit that will allow you to connect multiple rooms to the same network. So yeah, I'll give him the option. But yeah, it sounds like he may just have to go with the Wi-Fi extender, but you know, it kind of, you know, he doesn't really have a whole lot of options on that one, but we'll see. Alrighty, what was his name? Treezoob, keep us posted. Alrighty. Oh, he asked a question. I'm sorry. I put all my memory back, including how do I move games to my new SSD? So basically what you want to do is you need to format the drive. So if you go into File Explorer, why am I saying it? Why am I saying it? That's tacky, Anthony. So what you want to do is you want to go into File Explorer and see if it sees your drive right here, right? So if it sees your new drive here, then you're good to go. You would just copy from one location and paste to the other. But if it does not see your drive, what you want to do is click on the Windows logo and go to disk, or just type in disk, the word disk right up here. And then click on create and format hard disk, and it will pop up a screen telling you to give it a drive letter. And so here you just hit next, 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 and give it whatever letter and name it, and then it should pop up back in the File Explorer. So you just need to go to your disk management and basically give it a drive letter, or format the drive if it's not already formatted. And by formatting, I mean literally just right click and then you have the option of format. But you want to make sure that is black, okay? It means that the space is unallocated. So it needs to be showing black for the unallocated space. If it is, then you can format it. But if it's just looking for a drive letter, then give it a drive letter and you should be good to go. Alrighty. Oop. What did you do? What did you do? Okay, there we go. So Treezoo, I hope that helps. Keep us posted, bro. Alrighty, Lilla. Okay, let's go with Lilla. Lilla says, new PS5 controller and Wi-Fi keep disconnecting after about 1 minute. I have a new PS5 and I'm trying to set it up. The controller will only work if using the USB communication method. It will disconnect if on Bluetooth, and after about a minute, and will not reconnect until the PS5 is restarted. The Wi-Fi signal also stops working after about a minute. Any suggestions are appreciated. Yes. I would try for a BIOS update. I'm sorry, BIOS update. Wow. Try to check for a software update by going to settings. I think it's system. Okay, well, here we can just check real quick. So it's you're charged. Cool. There we go. So by going to settings and system. Okay, yeah, I guess you had it right. And what are we gonna say? To do Wi-Fi signal also stops working. Yes, so try to check for software updates. Oh, okay, I see. System feature updates, system software updates and settings. Is it update in settings? Yeah, update system software. Okay. System software update and settings. System software update and settings. System software update and settings. Here, perform a software update to see if that works properly, to see if that fixes the issue. Yeah, it sounds like you may either have an issue with the hardware or the software, but in order to it sounds like you might have a problem with all or nothing. No. It's the hardware or the software, meaning that you may have to reinstall the BIOS or the firmware for the PlayStation 5 by basically resetting it and going from scratch. Or you may actually have a hardware issue because generally the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth is typically on the same module. So it's a possibility that may be the problem. Maybe you just have a bad module on your PS5. Alrighty, Lilla, keep us posted. Am I in? In what? Josh Bigosh says, am I in? Oh, okay. So basically he's running his entire rig from his Steam Deck. Yes, you are in. Actually, the Steam Deck is actually really good at that. It's pretty efficient, especially when you want to use it for gaming or if you're traveling or something like that. And it looks like his area here looks pretty new. So I would say that yes, this is definitely a requirement. You definitely meet the qualifications qualifications to enter the PC master race. PC master race. That's the name of the chat. That's not me being a douche. The PC master race. However, the Windows savants may wag a finger at you. LOL. Let me review my gatekeeper's manual here. I mean, you know, I'm actually thinking about, you know, trying to do these type of controllers and using it as your travel companion. So basically, if you travel, sometimes a lot of people like to play video games when they travel, but if you can have a device that's strong enough to do video games plus any type of productivity, then that would be a pretty good idea. So yeah, I would say the Steam Deck is pretty close, especially at the price point, because it's very hard to get a full-size computer at the price point of the Steam Deck with all the features the Steam Deck gives you. So shout out to the Steam Deck. It's really good. Anybody else say anything funny? Yes, nice mouse pad. Yeah, it's a pretty nice mouse pad. I agree. It's nice. It's fancy. Okay, cool. I was just checking on you, Vigilante. Let me know if you have any questions about that, but that should get you working. Hutchinator Gaming won't let me upload videos. They all appear transparent when I try to select. Any help? Won't let me upload videos. They all appear transparent when I try to select them. Oh, okay. It sounds like they may have been deleted, sir. It's PS5, right? Yeah, it's PS5. So it won't let you upload videos. So this would be like recordings from when you play the game. So that is here, and broadcast capture options. So let's see here. If we go here, so he's talking about when he tries to share it, and is he talking about sharing it? When I try to select it, won't let me upload videos. They all appear transparent when I try to select. Oh, man, look at me playing video games. So yeah, so whenever, I'm guessing whenever he's here, he's talking about as transparent. Or maybe he's somewhere place else. Let's see. Let's just make sure before we, you know, jump to conclusions on him. Storage, sound, screen, and video. Let's try that. No. Save data, game apps. Save data. Game status, automatic updates, console storage. No. Okay, maybe he is. Oh, captures and broadcasts. Okay. Screenshot format, auto upload. Automatically upload your manually created screenshots and video clips to PlayStation app. When your PS5 is connected to the internet, they'll be available for 14 days when you create them. Okay, so let's try this. This is a good idea. So, system captures and broadcasts. Okay. Okay, so go to system captures and broadcasts. Here, make sure auto upload is turned off. Next, it sounds like your drive may be full or the video files have been deleted. Go ahead and delete the storage for a game, then try to record something to see if you have see if the transparency goes away. Transparency goes away when uploading. Okay, let me make sure that makes sense, because it sounded like it made sense in my head, but I don't know when I write it. When I write it, everything goes a different direction. Okay, so go to System, Captures and Broadcast. Here, make sure Auto Upload is turned off. Next, it sounds like your drive may be full or the video files have been deleted. Go ahead and delete the storage for a game. Any game will do. Let's actually tell him that, because we don't want him a game. Any game will do. We are just making space. Then try to record something to see if the transparency goes away when uploading. Yeah, so we'll go with that. That sounds like, I mean, there's not a whole lot of options you have here unless you have issues with network connectivity. But network connectivity won't have anything to do with your pictures being transparent. Now, if it's failing during the upload and it gives you an error because it can't upload, that's totally different. But if it's showing you a transparent video, that typically means that video has been deleted. So or it's on the verge of being deleted, or the drive is corrupt or something along those lines. So yeah, that's how we would troubleshoot that. Alrighty, Hutchinator, keep us posted. Alrighty, and OK Paint. OK Paint writes, I want to know if my progress will still be there. Okay, cool. We're down to answer that question for you, bro. I have played a lot of Mass Effect, but one day my external storage broke. I am not sure if I deleted the game and reinstalled it on my PS5. Will I have my progress back? Yes. Typically, well, okay. Typically, your PlayStation progress is stored in the cloud, and you can simply re-download it to the PS5. Typically your PlayStation progress is stored in the cloud, and you can simply re-download it to the PS5. That's pretty straightforward. Typically, if I can spell the word typically, there we go. So yeah, this isn't anything new. So this is just by going into the PlayStation settings there. Save data. Cloud storage. Copy your saved data to your console or delete it from cloud storage. So yeah, this is what you do when you always want to pull down your cloud storage after you either wipe the drive or you're trying to move from one system to the other. You just re-download all your cloud storage. Alrighty, OK Paint. Keep us posted. Let us know how that goes. Good bro. Alrighty, here, just making sure that's good. Okay. So far, so good. Battle Station. Wow, that is a lot going on. I don't even know what to say. This man is on it. He really likes airplanes. Are you a pilot? Are you a pilot? Oh, I'm sorry. I can't even see that. Hold on, y'all can't see. Let me start over. Okay, this is the picture. And yes, this is airplane gear. Like, it's all the airplane's gear. And so I was going to ask him, Mark, if he was a pilot. Are you a pilot, or do you play one on TV? Because this is okay. I don't know what it's like to play with this kind of a setup. I know a lot of people who really like Microsoft Simulator. We've had situations where we've helped people with Microsoft Simulator, but it appears that game does not play the same way that other games play. In other words, it's a little bit more CPU intensive than it is GPU intensive. But neither here nor there. It looks really nice. I wouldn't mind trying it and trying to learn and not, crash it into into the dirt. But I mean, hey, this man is on it. It looks like. So hey, this man is a flying fortress. Where is the hostess? Yeah, that is definitely a pilot for sure. Congrats, Chevalier. That's a nice little build you got going on there. Alrighty, here. What time we go? Okay, we're doing all right on time. It's not too bad. USB problems making my PC freeze. I've been having issues with my computer for a while, and I just don't know what exactly the problem is. Well, that's what we're here for, man. We are here to help you. I'm using a USB headset, and it worked fine for a while. Now, sometimes the sound randomly cuts out, or the PC says it disconnected when it's still plugged in. Okay? The problem is that it causes a bunch of other issues for other programs. Sometimes I'll be in Discord call and suddenly be mute or deaf. Sometimes I'll play a game and the sound will cut out forever unless I restart the game completely, or worse, the game freezes for a few seconds. Any ideas how I can figure out the source of all this? Yep. I've tried reinstalling Gyrus, but it hasn't helped. Yep. See it all the time. All the time. We see it all the time, good sir. How dare you? We see it all the time. Typically, it means the USB bus power is not enough for the amount of devices. I see it's messed up. Connected. Not enough for. Okay, fine. If you don't want to put a space in there, I will. Typically, it means the USB power is not enough for the amount of devices connected to it. So instead, USB problem, I would hook my headset into a front USB port to see if it makes a difference. If it makes a difference. Alrighty. So yeah, that's what you would do to troubleshoot this one here. If you're having a USB problem and you're hoping that it's not a freeze or that it's making your computer freeze, then what you would want to do on this one here is you want to move your USB headset from one location to another location, preferably not on the same hub that the other guys are connected to. And by hub, I just mean like a 4-port USB hub or USB 3 hub that's usually on the back of motherboards. Plug it into a port on the front of the motherboard and see if it makes a difference. Typically, if you look at mine, or maybe you can actually see it. Let me, let's see. New build. Yeah, so on mine, I'm not sure if I actually lift this up, but yeah, I think well, no, maybe not. Okay, so at the top of this case, I actually have my mouse and my keyboard in a dongle at the top. And I do that because one, it gets the mouse and keyboard dongles closer to the keyboard and mouse, and two, it makes sure that the keyboard and mouse don't have any type of latency that is caused by other devices plugged into the USB, okay? So it's a two-parter as to why I do that. But yeah, I would recommend the exact same thing for you in this particular situation, for you to go ahead and move your USB headset to another location, preferably the front. So Canyon, okay. Kane and Lynch 2 fan. Okay, gotcha. Kane, we'll go with Kane. Okay, Hellfire and Brimstone. Hope that helps. Alrighty. Brock, the investigator, asked me anything. Oh, hey, that's pretty cool. So this is from Streetsman. What do you think of Switch on a 4K TV? I don't think any of it because it's still a 1080p device. I thought it looks nice on mine. I'm using it on a Samsung Series 7 and it is nice. I also have an M Classic, but I will only see a difference if I look for them on purpose and close. Games ranging from Smash to Sonic Fortress to Doom 2016 to Star Force Unleashed, Naruto, Ultimate Ninja Storm 4, etc. look great on my end. I mean, yeah. 1080p is a what's the word? 1080p is a derivative. No, it's not. Don't get cussed out by your math friends. It's not a derivative. It's a 1080p is divisible. Visible by 4K. 4K. So the resolution will still look pretty crisp because it's 1920 by 1080. So 1920 by 1080 is 3860 or whatever by 2160 or whatever it is. I can't remember. 4K. So it's 2160p, which is 1080 times 2, if that makes sense. So yeah, 1080p is divisible by 4K. So the resolution will still look pretty crisp, even though the resolution is less. Also, some monitors or TVs have the ability, wow, you cannot type, have the ability to upscale 1080p content to make it look more like 4K. I can't remember which device did that, but wow, Anthony. I can't remember which television did that, but I know some of them do. They basically take a 1080p and then they'll add extra lines so to make it look more detailed and look like it actually belongs in the 4K territory, even though it's a 1080p screen. Whether it works or not, or to what effect, I don't remember. It's been a while. That was like maybe 6-7 years ago. Alrighty, Amoy CK. Amoy says, I made a stand for my headset. That is terrifying. It's nice, but it is also terrifying because you're talking about a spaceman here and he's walking on Jesus. So, I mean, I don't know how you feel about that, but it looks amazing. Looks absolutely amazing. Is this what people in space see? What people in space see? Sign me up. LOL. Gotta say LOL. Don't put me in space. I don't do well in spaces. That's so nice. Yeah, it's really, really nice. That is a very clean look. Oh, wow. Look at it when it's turned off. That's really nice. Okay, so it's like a little glass piece of wood. Wow, that is really nice. Wow, congratulations. That's pretty sweet, bro. Okay, that is Amoy CK. Alrighty here. And this one here is from A and a bunch of numbers. A and a bunch of numbers writes, Xbox wireless headset just breaks out of nowhere. Out of nowhere? Oh, it broke out of somewhere. I only got a headset early January this year, and they showed no sign of breaking or have only been used on occasion, mostly for competitive gaming. Well, that's not a good sign, bro. That usually means that you broke your headset, because anybody who has a headset for competitive gaming that they just got, they probably broke. Just as I was putting them on my head, the right speaker broke off and is now dangling by the wire inside. Audio still works, but now it can't stay on my head. Oh, okay. So he's only talking about the mic. He's not talking about the actual headband itself. So if he's talking about the mic, he may have to just get a different type of mic. Yeah, it happens. What's the question? I used to put it back together with super glue and duct tape. Good times, LOL. In general, question on what to do with it, whether I can get it replaced, repaired in any way, since I only had it for 2 months, but I didn't pay for a warranty at GameStop. Should have a warranty with Microsoft. That is absolutely correct. Just to add, I have had mine for over a year and no problems or breaks. Oh, thank you so much for telling me this. Found out I have 6 days on the warranty. Sweet. 6 days only? It's a 90-day warranty? Weird. It's a 90-day warranty? A 90-day warranty? 90-day warranty? Sounds a bit odd for, it's Microsoft, right? Sounds a bit odd. Yeah, it's Microsoft. Sounds a bit odd for Microsoft. Weird. It's a 90-day warranty. Sounds a bit odd for Microsoft. Typically, it's about a year. Yeah, I don't know about that one. You know, I don't know too many companies that have 90-day warranties. You know, after 90 days you're on your own, bro. That's a little iffy. I don't know about that. That's kind of weird. So yeah, hopefully he can get that that repaired or replaced and get it working there for him. Alrighty, so this is from Mr. Let me get a swig here. All right, I am ready. Mr. writes, sudden issues with Google Home Wi-Fi mini app. This is our second or third Google Home Wi-Fi issue. We've gotten better. Over the last 48 hours, my Google devices are struggling. Whenever it's the Home Hub or Mini, my question or task is met with something went wrong. I can unplug it. When it comes back online, it immediately works, but after some time, it errors again. Also, the Google Home app, it is mostly showing errors in connecting. My internet is working, and I can use the other smart home apps on their own without issue. I've removed and reinstalled the Home app, and problem persists. I've also tried retraining my voice with no issue. Help, please. Sure. With the Google Home Wi-Fi, could you try to update the firmware on the routers to see if it makes a difference? And what else did they say he did? Something went wrong. Whether it's a Home Hub or blah, 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 I can also plug it in when it comes back online and it immediately works. Do you have this issue? You have this issue when plugged directly into... We take too many issues. I don't know what he's talking about. When you plug directly into the router. There we go. Plug directly into the router. Do you have this issue when plugged directly into the router? Yeah, that's what I want to ask him. Okay, so we just want to make sure that the issue isn't Wi-Fi. So basically just plug directly into the router and then also try to update the firmware just in case that's causing the problem, and then we'll go from there. So, Mr. Keep us posted. Wow, this was a very, well, okay. So it's 8:39. So if we give it another 20 minutes of us playing around with just answering questions, then that will probably get us to where we want to be. So this is from Arican Love. Okay. My monitor is currently stuck at 800 by 600 and nothing I do works. I'm not very computer savvy, so I don't know what I'm doing. I followed a bunch of YouTube videos on the issue and nothing's worked. I uninstalled and reinstalled drivers, if that makes sense, and nothing. Well, I need to get a new monitor. No, not particularly. Well, what you can do is to try to try a different port on the back of the, for the record, by the way, if a person is writing to you and they're trying to type something and they tell you they're not savvy, don't use initials for anything. Don't say EOP for Ethernet over power. You can say ASUS, but don't say like, you know, plug it into, what was I gonna say? Yeah, don't say GPU, don't say CPU. Most people may not know what that means. So just make sure that you start to spell out everything that you want to say in the event that the person is telling you that they are not tech savvy. Well, what you can do is to try a different port on the back of the, oh yeah, graphics card, not GPU. Try a different port on the back of the graphics card to see if it makes a difference, Well, I need to get a new monitor. See if it makes a new difference. I'm not very blah, blah, blah. I followed a bunch of YouTube videos on the issue and nothing's worked. I uninstalled and reinstalled the drivers and nothing. Well, I need to get a new monitor. What you can do is to try a different port on the back of the graphics card to see if it makes a difference. Also, what are the specs of the computer? We kind of need to know that so we can get some more information out of them, so that we can see if it's a motherboard or what kind of motherboard he has, what kind of CPU, memory, stuff like that. But if it's stuck at 800 by 600, it typically means a graphics issue. So once we get the specs for the CPU, we may have him do the exact same thing we had Vigilante do, which is to unseat the graphics card to see if it makes a difference. Alrighty, RTN, keep us posted. Wow, we burned through all 6 groups like it was nothing. Okay, we're getting faster. Okay, that's exactly what that means. Because remember, when we first started, right, we were at 5, and now we're at 6. So now we can do 5 to 6 pretty comfortably, you know, depending on which issues we end up pulling, and it's not, you know, something cray-cray. But yeah, I think I may add another group so that we make sure that we hit it just in case. And if that group doesn't get hit, we'll pick it up on the next day. We may do something like that. Alrighty. All right, it's time for Russian roulette with technical issues. Let's do this. Okay, we'll just go with the first one here. And that's not a question. And we'll go with that one, Russian roulette. Let's do this. Okay, I don't know what any of these are. I just refresh and let's do it. Okay. Xbox Series X capped internet speed. I'm down. Hi guys, hope you can help me. I have issues with the Xbox Series X download and upload speeds. My connection is 1000 by 500. Maybe this is what we should end up doing. Do 6 tabs in Russian roulette and we just pick whatever. The issue is that sometimes Xbox Series X caps the connection to 100 in speed tests. I ran speed tests in Edge browser and the Xbox settings and the result is the same. Earlier today, connection that was measured was 950 megabits per second up and down. Oh, I'm sorry, up or down and 500 megabits per second up. And now for some reason it's capped. I should note this, the connection is wired. My apartment has ISP's router connection to gigabit switch is layer 2 unmanaged switch, so nothing that requires special config. Layer 2 switch means that it doesn't act on layer 3, meaning that all it does is look at MAC addresses. So it's basically just a dumb switch. Well, okay, dumb is a strong word because some layer 2 switches can do layer 3 things, but for all intents and purposes, for everyone else here, it's a dumb switch. When I plug in my laptop in the same port, laptop always measures 1000 megabits per second or gig down and 500 up. On speed test, never has issues. No games or streaming apps are running in the background. I random unplugged and plugged back in the cable and the issue was fixed, but it returned later. My router does no special QoS stuff. Why do you keep saying my? I have issues in Edge browser. Earlier today, connection was measured, blah, blah, blah. The connection is wired. My apartment has ISP's router, internet service provider's router connected to gigabit switch. Okay, yeah, it's not yours. I random unplugged and plugged back in the cable and the issue was fixed, but it returned later. My router does no special QoS stuff. Okay, so maybe it provides them Ethernet, but he has to hook up a router. I also tried QoS tagging, but nothing has changed. Well, okay, if you have a router and they have a switch and you know they have a switch, and they also probably have a router. It's just that maybe you don't see it or you don't realize that they maybe have it, because there has to be some way for you to NAT that out and get that out to the internet. So you have to have some type of device for the company itself or the apartment complex itself. This issue never happens on my PS5, which is connected to the same switch. Is there a general Xbox issue, something known, or should I be worried? I read many complaints from people about this, but I never saw any solutions. Well, does it matter? Is it causing network issues, or is this just a general question? So, well, is it causing network issues, or is this just a general question? Because if it's a general question, I mean, there's, let me think about that. If he has, I'm guessing there's just an Ethernet jack, and he just plugged that into his router so that his home network can have access to the internet. But I mean, all the ports are supposed to go into a standard layer 2 switch that's unmanaged, but you're going to have a port out or a trunk out and going into the router, their router. So they have to have some type of a router, otherwise that traffic won't be able to get out. So they do have to have something. So and what I'm trying to get at is QoS, which is quality of service. Basically, it gives priority to certain types of traffic. So if it's giving just because his router may be giving priority or not giving priority, that doesn't mean the apartment complex's router is. You see what I'm saying? So it has to be at every hop. So if you're going to put precedence on a particular flow, it has to be throughout the entire layer 3 deployment. Otherwise, the other one won't speed it up. There's no quality of service on that particular router. You have to have it throughout. So in this particular case here, he has a router, but the internet service provider and the apartment complex also have a router for them so they can get the traffic out to the internet. So, well, if is it causing issues, or is it just a general question? Also, the apartment will probably have a router, maybe just not seen. This is because all of the tenants, I'm going to talk about something here real quick. The tenants' internet traffic needs to be routed out to the internet, thus NAT, to the internet, thus NAT. We'll just say network address translation. All right, let's explain a few things. One, if you ever decide that you want to run some type of a hotel program, or basically run a hotel or run an apartment complex or something along those lines, and you want to offer internet service to the tenants there, then this is typically what you would do. You would basically have the entire place wired for Ethernet. All of those ports terminate into what's called a layer 2 switch, which is going to be this guy right here. Layer 2 switch, gigabit. Alrighty, so it's going to be something like this here, which is a layer 2 switch that terminates all of those ports. And then you're going to have 2 ports, or 1 or 2, that comes out and then goes into a router. That router is the one that's providing NAT translation, meaning that it takes your private information and turns it into a public IP address so you can get out to the internet. That's typically what a landlord would do in a situation where the tenants have internet services that you provide. You would essentially want to have them all connect up into the wall and that terminate on this guy, and then have that go into a router. Okay. This is because all the tenants' internet traffic needs to be routed out to the internet, thus network address translation. Is it causing an issue? He said it was wired too. Yeah, he can try to check for updates, but that sounds pretty unlikely. It just sounds like it's not able to. So yeah, I would just go with this. Just answer it that way and see if he has any questions and kind of go from there. Because we kind of really want to know, like, what is it doing? Is it hurting you? Because 100 megabits per second is more than enough to play any game. So yeah, I think he may just wants all of his FPUS, and he's getting less FPUS, and he wants more FPUS. But that's what I would say for this one. So DL Chemist, keep us posted there. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not DL Chemist. Iggy, keep us posted. Okay, so this is from Luciano RM. Did you see this on Discord? No, I didn't. I don't watch Discord. Dear fans, for those of you who have unsolved product issues, could you please fill fill out the following Google Sheet within 1 week. I will follow it up and push our customer service desk to address your issues. All the information in this sheet is shared. If you care about privacy leakage, you can DM me your information. The Google Sheet is effective for 1 week, and in the meantime, you still can send emails to service@ioneo.com. Originally, it didn't sound very good. It sounded like a trap. Yeah, it sounds like a trap, but it's that's a kind of an interesting one. I would actually call them. They're pretty easy to contact. So for this one, I would try to contact them as this looks kind of sus. That's what the kids say, right? Sus. This looks kind of sus. Alrighty, so for this one, I would try to contact them as this looks kind of sus. They are pretty quick to respond. Yeah, just get in contact with them and ask them just to be on the safe side, because this sounds like a trap. Alrighty, Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Alrighty, cool. Give me 1 second here. Oh, that's the good stuff. Shark Boy writes, how do I get Wi-Fi in/out a room that seemingly blocks networks? Hardwiring isn't much of an option. Hi. Hey, what's up, homie? I've been trying to solve this issue for months now. My entertainment room has massive issues with Wi-Fi reception in it. I moved the router and the modem to this room, and it's been working great, but the rest of the house starts to have connection issues. This will seemingly also block my wireless extender due to the nature of the room. What can I do about this? Some details that would be important. I have an Eero router with a wireless extender. The room in question, ow, ooh, I scratched my back and I scratched too hard. The room in question opens up a hallway where I can't hardwire anything easily as both sides are open instead of walled. See this video. Oh, you got a video? You know we like videos. Hold on, let me get ready. Hold on. Is there sound? Is there music? Is there acting? Okay, that's his modem router location. Oh, that sucks. Okay, he needs it to go downstairs, it appears. Yeah, that's not good, bro. That's gonna be tacky as hell. He's gonna have to get somebody to come out. Alrighty. Yeah, you may need to get someone to come out and install wall jacks in the other rooms to help, well, in the other rooms, or get another range extender, to help extend the network. However, you still may get dark spots, or you may still get latency issues or connectivity issues, connectivity issues as you are still on Wi-Fi and there seems to be some interference in the home. Yeah, you may need to get someone to come out and install wall jacks in the other rooms, or get another range extender get another range extender to help extend the network. However, you still may get connectivity issues as you are still on Wi-Fi and there seems to be some interference in the home. You can also try Ethernet over power. There was a situation where, I don't know, I think for a span, it was like a span of like 50 tickets and customers asking me about networking issues. I told them all Ethernet over power. Like that's how much I believed in the product when it first came out. I thought it was just the best thing in the world. I was like, your power line? Oh my goodness, that is freaking awesome. Back when they called it power line adapters. But yeah, that's just me nerding out. You lost me at run Ethernet into room through the power. What? Ethernet over power. That's what? Oh, okay. So somebody else suggested the same thing. Okay, yeah. I'm sure he's going to explain what Ethernet over power is. Powerline Ethernet adapters will let you run Ethernet through the power lines in your home, so you don't need to use a wire for new wiring. First of all, what? Second of all, how are speeds and pricing or something like that? Yeah, about $50 to $100. Yeah, okay, we'll look into this option. Thank you both. Yep, Ethernet over power, bro. So yeah, okay, so it looks like he's already been helped. He's good. I would say the exact same thing. Ethernet over power adapter, 100%. Fanless i5 12600 with 32 gigs of RAM. Fanless? Oh, that looks fancy. Oh, and you got 8 pictures. Let's go. Okay, so the entire computer is a giant heatsink. Got it. Wow, those are very, very small dongles. That is interesting. So basically his CPU cooler is basically one giant heatsink. And basically the heatsink is a case. I thought Apple does a very similar build, but yeah, this is really nice. Congrats. That's a pretty good build. Oh, and he's running Ubuntu. So, okay, cool. So his CPU temperatures are very, very low. So yeah, it looks pretty good. Congrats to him. Downloads, blah, 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 blah. Sensors, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, looks good. Cool. Congrats, bro. It's a nice little build you got going on here. Congrats on the build, bro. Glad the heat is dissipating properly. I don't even know how to spell dissipating. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Okay, and we got 2 more here. Favorite Halo. I want to say ODST, because that's the only one I played the main campaign on, but I would probably say Halo 3, because Halo 3, I played it as well. But Halo ODST, I don't know, it has a special place in my heart. I think it's because when it came out, I was at an age where I had my motor skills. And I think when Halo 3 came out, I didn't have all my motor skills yet. So I think it may have developed in Halo ODST. So somewhere between Halo 3 and Halo ODST, but I know that's probably like sacrilege to compare Halo 3 to Halo ODST, but that's the way I feel about it. I remember Halo ODST vividly, and I remember the campaign. I thought it was really, really good, but I haven't played every single Halo campaign, but I know the story, kinda. As good as anyone else who played Halo knows the story. I know Red versus Blue story better than I know Halo story. Halo 3 or Halo, oh wow, that is bad. Halo 3 or Halo ODST for me. I think when ODST came out, I just got my motor skills, and was able to remember it fondly. When did Halo 3 ODST come out? Halo 3 ODST. I had to have been adult because I remember it. And I've never had Halo when I was a kid. So 2009. So it's 14 years ago. So yeah, I would have been an adult. That's why I remember Halo 3 ODST so fondly. What about Halo 3? Halo 3 release date. Okay, and that was in 2007, so I would have been in college. That's why I don't remember anything, because in college, I was not chasing video games. I tell you that much right now. So that explains why I don't remember it at all. So I remember the multiplayer of Halo 3, but I remember Halo ODST's campaign, and I thought it was just really, really clean and neat and pretty. I think when ODST came out, I just got my motor skills and was able to remember it fondly. Yeah. Remember Reach? No. I do remember Reach, yes, but I never played it. Campaign, Halo Reach, multiplayer, Halo 3. Yeah, Halo 3's multiplayer was pretty dope. Halo 3. Nobody says ODST. It's just me. Okay, well. Oh, ODST, absolutely love its atmosphere. Thank you. I thought ODST was one of the best one to this day. Okay. For those of you who don't know Halo ODST, Halo 3 ODST was just so pretty. Well, at least I thought it was. It may not be now, but now I got to find out. Halo 3 ODST trailer. How big is this? Okay, 2 minutes. Let's do it. Oh my God.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Okay, so Kirby's Dream World is out now. I hear it's a pretty decent game, but that's about all I remember from it. But it gets very, very complicated when you have multiple players playing at the same time. Okay. Them graphics. Don't tell me to be calm. I am calm. Yeah. Woo, this hurt my eyes. I don't think I saw the trailer when I was a kid or younger in college. Ooh, Lord. Master Chief. I don't remember it being dark. I remember it being very bright as a game. Where's Caboose when you need him? Okay, that makes sense. Because I thought that... Okay. Because I don't... That's... Okay. Okay, that makes way more sense. Because that did not look... No. Go back. That makes so much sense. I was like, man, I don't remember it looking like this. Halo 3 ODST.
Played as the Master Chief. Out of the Halo, gonna buy a video game. Better look and understanding of the location of the game and the Halo universe.
Ah, here we go.
And if you
Yeah,
think about it,
this is what I remember. It looked amazing.
ODST to fill the gap of dissatisfaction many fans felt with the Halo 2 E3 demo. I mean, there was a lot of people upset about the lack of missions on Earth. And, well, all of ODST's missions are set on Earth.
Yeah.
So we get introduced.
That's what I remember. I remember it being beautiful. So I'm glad that my memory serves me correctly, because I remember it being one pretty game. Okay, and the last one here. The Kirby mousepad has arrived. It wasn't packed extra, just so you know. That's actually a pretty nice mousepad. I kind of want to stab it, see what happens. kind of want to deflate it to see what happens. That is a nice mousepad though, so congrats to him. Okay, one more wild card. Refresh. I'm gonna close my eyes and just pick something. I'm just scrolling, and did I pick some? Oh. No. What did I click on? What did I click on? I thought I clicked on something. Okay, let's try again, because apparently I went rogue. Okay, let's scroll and click. Click. Okay, my father's sixth attempt to outsmart his geriatric cat into taking her BP meds. I don't get it. To outsmart his geriatric cat into taking her BP meds. What is this? Is this science? Oh, it's r/funny. Got it. Fill pockets and good technique getting it down the throat. Oh, okay. So he's gonna drill a hole and then stick food down there. Geriatric cat into taking her BP meds. Oh, okay. So I guess he's putting it in the food, but I don't get it. I'm sorry. I'm not really good at jokes. So we'll just call it a mulligan. I'll take that L. Alrighty here. We'll just go ahead and stop it today. So we will pick back up on Monday. Alrighty. So we'll start helping some more people out on Monday and we'll see how that goes. And yeah, today is Thursday, right? Let's make sure that I got my dates right. Pretty sure I do. Yeah, today is Thursday. So we'll pick back up on Monday. There'll be videos over the weekend, or I'll try to get out some videos over the weekend so I can try to get some time together. And that's going to do for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you like this video, go to the like button. If you really like it, I'm going to subscribe. I love you either way. Take care. All the best. And bye. I will see you tomorrow. Oh, no, Monday. I will see you Monday.